She's a winner.
And welcome to the Intuitive Entrepreneur Show, where you take enlightened entrepreneurs, coaches, and influencers together to discuss cutting-edge topics in the world of relationships, culture, business, and spirituality. And here's your host, Miss Carol Boston.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Intuitive Entrepreneur Show. I am so excited to be here today. As you can tell, I have a little bit of a different background going on. But first, you know what I like to know. Tell me where you're chiming in from and what the weather's like where you are. The weather here is blustery. I had a speaking engagement at noon today up in Pompano Beach, and I got out of the car and it almost blew me over. I thought when I got in my car, it was only 45 minutes ago, it wasn't blowing that hard. So I don't know if we're expecting a storm or what. Doesn't look like it. It's sunny. The humidity actually dropped 1 degree. Believe it or not, it makes a difference. You don't feel like you just got out of the shower. So chime in. You know I love to have a dialogue and not a monologue. I'll be watching the comments. Let me know where you're chiming in from and what the weather's like, where you are. We are only 2 weeks away. Tomorrow, in 2 weeks, 2 weeks away from tomorrow, is Thanksgiving here in the United States. And I kind of had all these plans. I make a really unbelievable cranberry conserve. It's got Grand Marnier in it. Nobody believes it. It's really good. It's not like jellied cranberry sauce at all. I make these killer roasted garlic Parmesan mashed potatoes, no butter, and nobody knows it. They're really good. And I had all these plans. And, putting up a Christmas tree the day after. It's the first time I was going to put up a tree in a while. And lo and behold, I came where I am right now. I'm in Plantation, Florida. And I came here to dog sit on Friday afternoon. And I've sat with this dog. I bet y'all have seen pictures of little Miss Lulu. She's adorable. Right now, she crawled under the couch. Hopefully she'll stay asleep and not bark. She's a Maltese. She's really cute. And I got here on Friday and I was supposed to go home on Monday. Well, on Sunday, as I was telling Aruba, I got a call Sunday morning. I had just walked out of the gym and I get a call from Andy, the husband, and tells me the wife fell down the stairs last night, broke her knee in 2 places, broke her ankle in 2 places. She went into a 5-hour surgery on Sunday, and I get to dog sit for at least another 3 weeks. 3 weeks. That's my longest gig ever, folks. Oh, and I just came here after only being back at my place for 4 days from a 10-day gig. That one was over on the New River. If you watch that show, that was with Oscar and Kramer, also Little Mutt. But here I am. So we're getting used to the environment, and I was scurrying around looking for my headset. Don't know where it is. But, everything happens for a reason. One day at a time. Those of you who know me, what do I say? We get to trust in the process and take the next step. Just the next step. Lots on my mind. I'm thinking. I was actually looking in the book. I had picked it up and started it quite a while back. Didn't finish it. And the business meeting that I had last Thursday for another stream of income opportunity was telling me that the top 3 books that he's ever read in his life, and this guy's a serial entrepreneur. He could be retired, doing nothing. He just loves making companies work. And he said the book Good to Great was one of them. So I picked it back up. It's a little too deep for what we're doing today, and I hadn't had enough time, but maybe we'll look in that book. I got a couple of other books in mind, especially as the holidays are coming up. And as always, I'm going to read from a Jan Van Zant. So I was talking with a client earlier this week, and I asked this client, do you think we can learn anything valuable from a Hallmark Christmas movie? And I don't know if I talked about this last week. If I did, I'm going to talk about it again. I don't think so. I think I watched it this past Saturday. And he was like, those movies are all the same. This happens, that happens. It's always a happy ending, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, may I share with you what I learned? And it was very apropos to where he was stuck. So he says, yes, you can share it. So the movie is called Nashville in Christmas. It's got Dolly Parton. It's got Kelly Pickler. It's got Winona Judd. It's got some big country western stars in this movie. And I walked in here on a Saturday afternoon, and I only caught like maybe the last 15 minutes of the movie. Sometimes that's the best part, right? On a Hallmark movie. And this young lady, up and coming country western singing star, her career had exploded. For her, it felt like everything was out of control, out of chaos. She didn't know how she could do it, and she was frazzled. So she goes over and sits down on a park bench, and who's sitting there but Winona Judd, Miss Country herself. And she looks at Winona, and she says, how'd you do it? Winona said, what? She said, accomplish all that you did, do all that you were doing, have a family, and not let the train fall off the tracks. And Winona looks at her, and the first thing she said was, well, number one, I am very stuck in my ways. She said the challenge with that is that the train doesn't go very fast, and it's easy to keep a train on the tracks when it's not going very fast. She said the problem is it doesn't go very far. My stuck client, his eyes lit up, and he was like, you see, folks, money loves speed. You're trying to grow your business. We can't think about it. Get ready. Right? I have one other client. I kind of pushed her. I encouraged her heavily to make an offer, do a webinar and make an offer. This was 2 weeks ago. And we had our next coaching session yesterday. Guess what she did? She made 5 offers. In other words, she made the offer. 5 people took her up on a phone call. So she made 5 offers, sold 3 of them. Honey, that's 60% closing ratio, and made $17,500. And she said, thank you for giving me those empowering questions and for pushing me to get into action. Folks, done is better than perfect. Listen to what she said. So powerful. It's easy to keep the train on the tracks when it's not going very fast. Problem is, it's not going very far. And how many of us are sitting there going, I should be further along. I should this. Well, are you getting into action? Money loves speed. Money loves intention. Money loves attention. Money loves clarity. And money loves specificity. Specific and clear language is one of the key things I work on my clients with in their marketing language. When they're giving their talks, when they're doing their master classes and their webinars, and they're fumbling around trying to make an offer. I had a client a few weeks ago send me something on a Friday night. No, folks, I was done working. You know what it means to be done working on a Friday night? Yeah, I was having my Friday night cocktail. I get this email. And she's like, please, Carol. Malcolm Smith in the house. Hello, Malcolm. How is the weather out in Texas? Malcolm is in Houston, Texas. Everybody say hello to Malcolm. Right? Oh, I'm so glad to see you here. Malcolm's a good guy. Aruba, you would like him. How many years we go back, Malcolm? Malcolm did one of my Snowmageddon calls. I've been having people ask me to bring those calls back. They were valuable. Right, Malcolm? $97 for 90 minutes clarity to cash. Clarity gives you power, folks. Specificity leads to clarity. Clarity leads to power. In capital letters, Malcolm says, love you. Thank you so much. I'm going to take that hug. I'm a nurturer. He says, the weather is great in capital letters. Malcolm said that call was priceless, and he put it in capital letters with an exclamation point. Thank you. I am so glad you're doing well. It is so good to hear from you. Who knows? Maybe we'll even do a Thanksgiving. Maybe we'll do a Thanksgiving cocktail show or a holiday cocktail show. Remember when we used to do Carol's Craft Cocktails, Malcolm? Right? That was fun. But back to today, right? As entrepreneurs, it's easy to stay busy doing and doing and doing and doing, but not doing the things that are productive to move our businesses forward. I'm going to repeat it again. We're like that train on the tracks. We're keeping that train on the tracks because we ain't going very fast, but we're not going very far. And then we beat ourselves up. I should be further along. Well, according to who? According to what? Right? You guys know I'm going to block this little thing that happens on my Mac and my iPhone that I'm trying to get used to, giving me all these notifications. Done is better than perfect. Had another client recently. I just looked at her. I said, man, you're getting ready to get ready to get ready to get ready. You're getting ready to get ready to get ready. She started cracking up. Then she laughed so hard she was almost in tears because she realized it was true. No forward movement. I listened to an 8-figure going on 9-figure coach yesterday talking about the value of getting into action even if you look like a fool. Now, other people's judgments and opinions of you are none of your business. So even if they call you a fool, it doesn't make you a fool. I wanted to say that to her. Right? What she was really trying to say is get out there and do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Done is better than perfect. She talks about how when she started out her coaching business, she did a webinar and she had a 13% close ratio from that webinar for a $997 package. And a few weeks later, she happens to be at something with Mr. Brunson, another multimillionaire. And she was complaining. Think about this, folks. How well do we know our numbers? She was complaining that she only had a 13% close ratio for this $997 product. And he looked at her and he goes, what are you complaining about? Do you understand that's $1 million product? 13% at $997 million in a year. She didn't know her numbers. He said, you don't need to improve your close ratio. You don't need to change your product. You don't need to get better at speaking. You get to find more people to get in front of. That's all. Think about it, folks. Oftentimes we think it's us. We're not good enough. We're not disciplined enough. We don't speak well enough. We don't close well enough. We don't make sales well enough. When all we really get to do, get in front of more people who could be our ideal clients. Think about that one. Malcolm says, getting ready to get ready to get ready to get ready sounds familiar. Laugh out loud, he says. Yeah, it happens. And it's easy to stay stuck in that wheel like the little hamster or the little rat that runs around the wheel. Because what do? We get going faster. And because we're going faster, we think we're going somewhere. But we're not. Had another client the other day tell me how busy she was. Busy, busy, busy. I looked at her and I said, busyness is an intimacy issue. Intimacy, into me, see. It doesn't always mean somebody else looking in and seeing you. It means you being willing to look in and get intimate with who you are, where you are, what you're doing that's keeping you where you are. Folks, everywhere we are is by choice. It's right where we're supposed to be. A lot of people don't like hearing that. Years ago, I didn't either. I'm right there with you. Put Yana in the comments. You are not alone, Carol. Right? Me either. It's too easy to try to blame things outside of ourselves. It's the president. It's the weather. It's the job. It's the boss. It's the kids. It's the husband. It's the wife. Every time we do that, we give up our power. I didn't get to expound on this in my talk today. I gave a talk up in Pompano Beach at 12 o'clock. And I only briefly got to touch on be, do, have leadership. I was teaching on empowering questions, how to get the answers that you really want. And when I touched on be, do, have leadership, another thing that came up was being a leader who operates at level 4 responsibility. Level 4 responsibility says, I am 100% responsible for everything 100% of the time. And if everybody in this world operated like that, we would be living in a completely different world. But that means that the leader is what? Owning that he or she is choosing ownership. Because only when we own that we're choosing can we then make a different choice if we don't like the results that we're getting. Linda Bonner says, hello, Linda. Welcome. Put it in the chat. Let us know where you're chiming in from and what the weather's like where you are. Let me know if this is your first time here. I am trying to remember if your name sounds familiar. Malcolm, say hello to Linda. I love having a dialogue, so please comment, chime in. We've been talking about leadership. We've been talking about entrepreneurs who get stuck. We're talking about it's easy to keep the train on the tracks when you're not going very fast, but you don't go very far. Think about it. We choose to do that, and then we beat ourselves up because we haven't gotten very far. Come on, folks. It's a vicious cycle. Ooh, she's in Pennsylvania. She said, sunny in Pennsylvania. Malcolm says, hello, Linda. Linda, I just saw, she's a past client, actually, and now a friend of mine who lives in Phoenixville, and she was doing a Facebook story this morning, and she was all bundled up with a knit beanie on and a coat. Is it cold up there in Pennsylvania? Let me know. What part of Pennsylvania are you in? We have lower humidity today, but it's still hot for this time of year. 84. It's 84. Where was I? Let's hop in and tie in what we've been talking about from a leadership perspective. Be, do, have. Leadership says, who do I get to be in order to do what I get to do so that I can have what I say I want? Problem is, most people in America do what? How much can I have and what do I got to do to get it? No, it's your ways of being. I do a deep dive on this with my clients. I do a deep dive on this with myself. I'll even ask myself, who was I being today when I stayed in procrastination and didn't finish putting these in the database? Who was I being? What were my ways of being? And is that in alignment with my values? Linda says, it is chilly in the 60s in Lehigh Valley. Now, honey, I would love the 60s. If it's in the low 60s, I would actually wear a long sleeve shirt. Sounds weird for someone living in Florida, but let me tell you, there's a lot of people down here. A good friend of mine, David, I walked into his house one day and I turned around and walked out. I said, I can't talk to you in there. It's 80 degrees. Yeah, me and my wife like it like that. Oh, yeah, I can't even breathe in there. But when it's in the 50s outside and I got all the doors and windows open, now we're talking. That means I can actually wear a long sleeve shirt and long pants in my house and not sweat. Not sweat. Linda, one of the things we do, so good to have you here. If you've got any questions, please put it in the chat. If there's any challenge you're having, whether it's in your personal life or your business, and you would like me to frame up some empowering questions for you. If you're a new follower to me, you may not know that I'm known as the Queen of Reframe. I teach and train on empowering questions, how to get the answers that you really want. I was speaking on that today at my in-person event. And I told them my next book's going to be called You Can't Read the Label When You're Inside the Jar. And we're all in a jar. We all have blind spots, and the answers we're looking for are sitting right outside of our jar. We just don't know how to ask the right question to bring the new awareness into our jar. I tell my clients, I can read your label, right? That's why I have a coach who can read my label. I can't read my own label. I don't know all my own blind spots. But for my clients, I can read their label. I help them write a new label so they can throw an anchor into the future and let go of the story that's keeping them in the past. A story is made up of what? Thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts. I said I was going to deep dive into that, didn't I, Ruba, one day? We'll do that. We'll get to do that. But we work from this book pretty much every week over the last 4 years, I've learned that my tribe, my followers, loves learning from this book, and we tie it into what we're talking about. The theme for November is the greatest service I can offer is ... And today's thought is the greatest service I can offer is accepting the value and importance of who I am and where I am in life. You are exactly who you are because you are important. How many people have a hard time hearing that? Everything you are is valuable and important. You are important to yourself and to everyone else. If you were not exactly who you are, somebody very important would be missing from the experience of life. You are exactly where you are because all that you have to give and receive is right where you are now. How many people complain, I should be somewhere else. I should be further along. You guys know I can't stand that word should. That's why I'm throwing it out there. It's always about being wrong. I get my clients to take it out of their vocabulary. Everything you know is needed right where you are. Everything you can do is doable right where you are. If you were over there or over here, there would be a big void right now where you are. Oh my gosh, Catherine Schwark is in the house. Hi, Carol, chilly and cloudy in Minnesota. Malcolm and Linda, say hello to Catherine. I'm so glad you're here. I've been missing you, girl. I watch you on Facebook. You're doing great things. Keep it up. Thank you for joining. We're reading from I know you remember our Ayanna Van Zan book. You have gone through all that you have been through because of who you are, because of what you needed to know. Everything you have done and been through is valuable and important. In order to be who you are, to know what you know, to be where you are in this moment, you needed to go through what you went through. Who you are, where you are, what you know gives you value. I'm going to say that again. Who you are, where you are, and what you know gives you value. It either makes your life important or it discounts the importance of your life. How much you believe in who you are, serve where you are, and use what you know can make a very big difference in who you become. Ooh. Where you go and what you do when you get to the next place. Until today, you may have resisted, ignored, denied, or underestimated the importance and value of who you are, where you are, and what you know. Just for today, don't do that. Say, today I am devoted to accepting the value and importance of every aspect of my life as it is now. We can enjoy our life now and not be complacent. We can still work to make it better. We can still get into action. And oftentimes we don't know our value. So I spoke at this business group today, live and in person up in Pompano Beach. And when all was said and done, the meeting was over and I was finished and I stayed and networked and got a couple of good leads. And next thing I know, I turned around and the room was empty. So I thought, okay, well, it's time for me to go. I'll get back in time to do my show. And as I was getting in my car, my phone rang and it was Jay, the gentleman who invited me to speak. And you know how sometimes you know that you made a huge impact on people, but there might be those one or two people in the room you're just not sure about. You don't get to gauge how you did by those one or two people in the room that you're not sure about. So he says to me how impactful my talk was, blah, 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 compliment after compliment. He said, let me just tell you. He said, you remember that young man sitting up the front, kind of heavy set guy? And I said, yes. He said, he has never, ever, ever stayed in a meeting past 12:45 because his job, he's in the financial industry and his job requires him to have his butt in the seat in the office at 1 p.m. making calls. Did you notice he stayed until you finished at 1 o'clock? He said, there's two other gentlemen in there. They're dentists. He said, they've never stayed past 12:40 because they have 1 p.m. patients in their chairs. Did you notice they stayed to the very end? Think about it, folks. Some of the people that we're not sure we're touching, we get to trust in the process. We get to show up in all that we have and trust in the process that we're making a difference. My goal when I show up is change one life, because that one life has a ripple effect of a multitude of lives. Catherine says, yes, of course. I'm in my car and lost volume. She's got it. Good. Right? Who you are matters. I've often said that I believe God gave you a fingerprint that nobody in the world's ever had. Nobody in the world will ever have. But it's so that you can leave a unique handprint on the world. What does the Bible tell us? Don't hide your something under the bush. Your light. Don't hide your light under the bush. Lisa Nichols says, show up and shine your light. And if somebody says, ooh, your light's shining too bright, don't you dare dim your light. You go in your pocketbook and you pull out an extra pair of sunglasses and give them the sunglasses. Give them some shade. You keep shining your light. Because the people who are your assignment, you will not miss them. Who's your assignment? Do you know who's your assignment? Every single person in that room is not my assignment. When you go into a room, every single person in the room is not your assignment. The people that you're meant to help and support, they will gravitate towards you when you show up authentically who you are, not trying to be somebody else. Catherine said, love it. Shine on, Carol. Thank you so much. It's kind of funny, Catherine and I showed up. I'm always dressed, collar, long sleeve, very professional, preppy, nice slack shoes, showed up, had my new earrings. Catherine, I got myself a birthday present for turning 65. Can you see them? I love them. And I got to the front of the room, and after they introduced me and I said, hello, I was glad to be here. And I put my hands on my hips and I cocked my head to the side. I said, well, you could have told me it was casual. They all started laughing. Some of them were in shorts and t-shirts and blue jeans and shirts. I mean, listen, if there was a rule, I was way overdressed, but I was dressed perfectly for Carol and who she shows up in her business. That's how I show up. I dress professional. I dress preppy. I was kidding around. I told him, I said, I would have dressed just like this anyway. I wouldn't be comfortable being in the front of the room, pouring into people to impact their lives in a t-shirt and a pair of shorts. That's not my brand. What's your brand? How's your brand showing up in the world? Catherine says, beautiful earrings. Thank you so much. I like them myself. Sometimes it's hard to believe I'm 65, but I am. Hello, Medicare is coming, right? People are waiting for you. They're waiting for you, Malcolm. They're waiting for you, Catherine. They're waiting for you, Linda. To show up and shine your light so that you can pour into your tribe. Thank you for being a part of mine. Thank you for showing up here today. I'm on a roll. I could keep talking. There's so much in me to pour from being at that event and what's in that book. Who I was enough. Who you are is enough. Right where you are. Let's not question where we are. Let's not chastise ourselves on where we think we should be or what we should be doing, because that always makes us wrong and it comes from lack. And the people that are my tribe, they get to come from abundance. Catherine says, I'm right behind you, Carol. I'm 62. Awesome. Malcolm says, thank you in capital letters. Catherine says, thanks for showing up today. Thank you for showing up. I'm here pretty much every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Love to have you come back again. Go in peace, everybody. Make sure that each day between now and next Wednesday, when you come back so we can chat again, that you get someone to smile. It takes fewer muscles to smile than it does to frown. And let's spread the magic. Go in peace, everybody. Love you guys.
Thanks for listening to the Intuitive Entrepreneur Show, brought to you by Life Coaching Today magazine, empowering your health, your business, your community, your life. Check out the latest issue today at lifecoachingtoday.com. Everyone here at the True Awesome Network asks you to please subscribe, like, comment, and spread awesome.